story and you've got it down. You don't. You don't know the motivation. You don't know why. You don't know the conviction that followed after the situation. You don't know. God knows. He knows all things. Leave the judgment up to God. Now, once again, you can bear truth to the situation, but leave the judging to the perfect one who knows all things and who knows your thoughts and who knows your heart. Leave the judgment to Him. What not to give? Judgment and condemnation. See, the consequences of judgment is bad relationships. That's the consequence. If you are somebody who has the bent to judge, because some of you are that way. Okay, some of you, that's just kind of the way it is. Okay? Some of you see black and white, and I praise God for you. That's a great thing. Okay? But the consequence of being someone who judges and condemns is bad relationships. And guess what happens in bad relationships? No one's going to listen to a blasted word you have to say. God has called us to love absolutely radically. I begin to question, I wonder why maybe your neighbor, why people maybe outside the church won't listen to the church. And my guess is that because they see the church as judge rather than as a place of love, shedding light on the truth. How are you living? Do not judge and condemn. That's what not to give. Now, what to give? What to give? Let's look at Luke 6:37. This is B. 37, it's part of 37. It says, forgive and you will be forgiven. Look at verse 38. Give and it will be given to you. A good measure pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. What to give? Forgiveness. Forgiveness. If you asked me what I want for Christmas, if you asked me, Ron, I will give you anything that you want for Christmas, guess what I'd say? A 72-inch HD 1080p 120 hertz TV. No, it's actually not what I said. It's not what I said. Although it'd be nice. I'd love an iPad. I mean, I don't know what I would do with an iPad, but they just look cool. You know what I mean? I have no idea. I would be like, what? Why do I have this thing? But it's like, I got an iPad. All right. Golf clubs. I need help with my golf game. And I feel like I'm a great golfer with bad clubs. So I know that if I got the clubs, I'd be a phenomenal golfer. It's the club's fault. I know. I played with some of you, and you know the truth. You know the truth. Why I lose all the time is not me. It's the clubs. It's the clubs. The greatest gift. The greatest gift, number one, is Jesus. And number two is to see my brother who's in Africa. If my brother would come home and his family, that would be the greatest gift that I could receive this Christmas. See, the greatest gift is relationship. The greatest gift that you have to give is relationship. The greatest gift of all is Jesus. And the second greatest gift that you can give is yourself. And a lot of times we don't give up ourselves because there is a conflict and it's about forgiveness and we're unwilling to forgive. There's a conflict that has happened in the past, and so we don't want to break through, and so we stay away. And what Jesus says to give is forgiveness. I mean, think about what keeps you up at night. Think about what stresses you out the most. Think about what's in your life that is a constant pressure on you. Honestly, and most likely, usually, it has to do with the relationship that you're in. It's either a broken relationship with a son or a daughter, a broken relationship with a spouse, a relationship at work that you just can't overcome. There's something about it relationally that's there. There's something that someone has done to you in the past, and you just cannot get through it. It's that grocery store test, right? You walk into the grocery store, you see that person, you want to run, right? And what's up with that? It's forgiveness. It's a right relationship with people. That's what burns at us the most. And the reality is, you can only respond two ways into a conflict. You can either choose to be a debt collector. Right? In the midst of it, you can choose to be a debt. You only have two choices in conflict. You are a debt collector or you choose to forgive. One or the other. There's no middle ground. If you think there's middle ground, you're simply collecting debt. That's just reality. No middle ground. And that debt that you carry and you think it's against that someone else, it's really killing you. Forgive. Be free. Choose. You may not come you may not agree to the situation, but you can at least come to an understanding and choose to forgive. Choose to forgive. Give that out this Christmas. It is one of the greatest, listen to this, one of the greatest gifts you can receive is forgiveness. And one of the hardest gifts to give is forgiveness. Give it out. Let's go back to verse 38. So what should we give forgiveness? And secondly, give your life. Give, and it will be given to you. If we look throughout this text of Luke chapter 6, in verse 30, it talks about give to everyone who asks you. Verse 35, it talks about give to your enemies. Give, and give. Give. What Jesus is talking about here is a habitual action and attitude. To give. Habitual, continuous, always happening. Give. And it's more than just material. It's more than just money. Honestly, sometimes those are the easiest things to give. Well, let me just write you a check and let me be done. Some of the hardest things to give is yourself, your time, the forgiveness. Give. And it's action and it's attitude. And there's a balance. There's a balance with this. I was downtown Chicago about a couple weekends ago. It was Ben and Holly, and Michelle and I were with Ben and Holly. We went to a great Christmas concert, all those kind of things. And we were walking down the street, and I was just getting into loving our enemies and giving, to those people and those kind of things. And somebody comes up to me right on the street. And they're with Olive Branch Ministries, so they're handing out like newspapers. He's a street guy. He comes up to me and he says, "Hey, for Christmas, what do you think? What do you think about donating to the Olive Branch ministry?" And I'm studying Luke chapter 6, and it's like give and give and give. So I pull my wallet and I hand him some money. And then I very, very arrogantly say to everybody, "I'm just living out my sermon. Just living out, give. That's who I am." So Ben turns it on me. And Ben's like, "Hey, I need some money too." He's good. I mean, he's good. And I was like, yeah, no. Right? So maybe I should have given him money. I don't know. But there is a balance. I don't think Jesus is like, give, just do it all, give it all. You should have nothing. And you should, give everything away materialistic, right? I don't think Jesus he's not going to that extreme, although he may be in some for some of you. He may say, pick up and move and leave everything. He said that to my brother. Leave everything. He may do that. And you obey and go and do it. All right? But what Jesus is focused about and what he's concerned about is your attitude. Is it one of giving? One of the questions that you need to ask when you don't want to give is, why are you holding on? If it's because of love of possession, then give it away. If you love that possession more than you love people, give it away. Jesus has called us to a life of giving. Jesus has called us to a life where we continually are being poured out. And he is seeking disciples. He's seeking followers that are ready to give and give and give and give. Be willing to give up your life. And the measure that you give, you will receive. You see that in verse 38? The measure that you give, you will receive. So I love French fries. Love them. Try not to eat them that much these days. Love French fries. Went to a restaurant the other day, ordered something, and I got like 10 fries. It's like, what's up with that? Right? Now, in the back of my head, I'm like, that's a good thing. 10 fries, stay healthy. Then you go to another restaurant. I won't name names because I don't. Well, I'll name the positive one. Go to another restaurant. They just filled the box. They just filled the box appropriately with fries. Didn't shortchange me. Didn't give me too much. Just here. But if you ever go to Five Guys, have you ever been to Five Guys? All right, so Five Guys. I love this place, although it's not healthy. So I go to Five Guys the other day, and they give like this cup, and it's full of fries. And then you watch them. They fill the cup up. Then they take another scoop, and they pour it in the bag. It's overflowing with fries. I'm like, Five Guys is it. I'm going to Five Guys. Right? Well, what kind of giver are you? Right? Are you like that restaurant that's like, well, here's 10 fries. I'm giving. Look, I gave you 10. Or are you like that follower of Jesus that's like, I'll just give you the appropriate amount. I'll be legalistic. The Bible says something about 10%, so 10% it is. No less, no more. 10%, that's it. Here, look how good I am. Or are you like Five Guys? You know what I'm saying? Are you like Five Guys with your life? Where it's like, you know what? Elizabeth, I'm sorry. I'm gonna give you this. That wasn't planned. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna overflow the cup. I'm not gonna do that one. I was gonna do this. I'll do it. Just overflow. Let it overflow. That was Bob's fault, not mine. Overflow. What kind of love? What kind of love are you pouring out? Are you giving? Are you giving it all? Are you giving it all for Jesus? This year, you may look at Christmas and you may go, you know what? This stinks. This Christmas is terrible. I've been out of work for about a year and a half, and I've got nothing to give. And you're going into Christmas this year, and you're looking around that tree, and you're like, there's no gifts around that tree. Maybe there's one or two things. Maybe nothing. And as a dad,